Why aye, man? Hello and welcome to another video. You came back for more. In this video I'll be working on this chest of drawers which was abandoned. I will never understand why people do this, but their loss is my gain. So the drawers are not looking at their best and there is some damage to repair, but this piece is made from solid oak, so it is going to come up really nicely. I did 2 rounds of varnish remover. Some pieces strip easily, others not so much. This one was kind of middle of the road. I've had worse. So I used the sander for the remainder, and I used 80 grit and then a 120 grit and then a 180 grit. So here I'm just showing you this random screw that was really not attached to anything, but it had gone right through the piece and right through the top as well and left a big hole. The plywood back was completely rotten, so I took that off and I will replace that for a brand new piece. The top was made of 2 pieces of oak that had been glued together in the past, but somewhere down the line they'd come apart from each other and they were just held together by some thin wood battens. So I removed the battens and then I scraped the old glue off, and here I'm just popping them into some clamps ready just to be glued back together again. I clean off the excess of the glue, because if you don't and it dries, it can be a bit of a nightmare to get that off. Unfortunately, it wasn't an option to keep the handles because they were just breaking when I was trying to remove them. They were so brittle and damaged. So after spending 2 hours breaking handles and getting frustrated, it was time to take a walk with Charlie and Sully. enough now, boys. Let's get back to work. So I used oxalic acid inside of the drawers to try and get them up as clean as possible. If you use oxalic acid, always remember to rinse it with water, or you can also use white spirits as well, just to neutralise the chemicals. For the top I used hydrogen peroxide, which is another solution that lightens wood. I left the hydrogen peroxide to dry overnight and it was really effective. I then used a wire brush and used it vigorously on the top. It widens the crevices, especially on an oak piece. It's recommended to use a synthetic bristle brush, as the bleach will eat through the natural bristles. For the body of the piece I used a walnut wood dye. I wanted to use a wood dye on this occasion as it penetrates into the wood and it really shows off the grain. I used wax filler wood repair sticks to fill the holes left behind from the original hardware. I tried to find the closest match colour-wise. I soon realised it stood out like a sore thumb, so instead I opted to use the darker colour to match the wood grain. It didn't matter too much as the new handles will be hiding the holes, but it's just about gaining that experience. So this project is all about a ceruse effect. Cerusing is a wood technique that creates a two-toned look. It's all about opening the wood grain and accenting that against a contrasting base colour. So for my base colour I chose to make my own shellac. So I decided to go for the blonde shellac flakes, and this will achieve a mellow honey-toned background. I mixed the shellac flakes with some denatured alcohol and I left it overnight. The resultant solution should look like a light but rich syrup and feel tacky between your fingers. I made my own polish pad, which was basically a piece of cotton with cotton balls wrapped inside. I found that the shellac dried pretty much instantly, so I applied 2 good coats to the top and the drawers. Finally I applied lime wax and I worked it into the grain of the wood. 10 minutes later I buffed it off. After the first round, I waited an hour and then I reapplied it again and repeated the process. As you can see, it's added a sense of depth and texture to the surface. For a final touch, I then finished off with a coat of beeswax over the whole body of the piece. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the final results.